CSS has if statements now. If you're not familiar with if statements, they're one of the ways that we can make decisions in code. We can visualize this by breaking down a simple real-world decision, such as, if the weather is bad, then I'll order takeout. But if the weather is good, then I'll go to the restaurant. If all else fails, then I'll make a sandwich at home. This represents a conditional relationship where when a condition is met, a certain result happens. Before CSS if statements, we had to do this type of decision making in another language, typically JavaScript, but now we can make these types of decisions inside of our CSS properties. Let's take a look at how CSS if statements are structured, starting with a single condition. A single condition is a single decision. Basically, if condition 1 is true, then we'll make our property value equal to value 1. We can expand on our decision making though by having multiple conditions. In this example, we have 3 conditions and 3 values. If condition 1 is false, then the system checks if condition 2 is true, and if it is, value 2 is applied. But if condition 2 is false, then we move on to condition 3 to see if it's true. If it is, then value 3 is applied, but if it is not, then none of our values are applied. Now that none of our values are applied part may be a problem for some layouts, and that's why we can have a fallback value by using else. Think back to our visualization, specifically to the condition that stated, if all else fails, then I'll make a sandwich at home. This is what else does for us. If all our conditions come back as false, then the fallback value is applied. Now that we've established how CSS if statements work, what kind of conditions can we detect? Currently, we can detect conditions via 3 query types, including style, media, and supports. We'll take a look at style first. Style lets us test a computed style or a custom property, aka a CSS variable, on the same element that we've selected in our CSS. I've set up an example here where I have a basic status light represented by a circle. The background color of that light is controlled by a CSS if using a style query that is looking for the status CSS variable and what specifically it is set to. If I change the status variable to the value warning, the status light changes to orange. Now, if I don't set the status variable's value at all, in fact, I'll erase it here, then we'll get the fallback blue light. Now, let's take a look at a media query. Media queries are commonly used to apply different styles based on the width of the viewport for responsive designs. We can take that same principle and apply it to a specific CSS property. Here, I'll select the body of our page, and then I'll modify the value of the background color property by detecting whether the width of the page is above or below 1500 pixels. And finally, let's take a look at supports. Supports allows us to detect whether the browser we're using supports a specific CSS feature. In this example, I have 2 conditions and a fallback. I also have a simple heading that will be either left, right, or center aligned based on the outcome of our if statement. I've intentionally typoed display flex with an additional E, so now our condition is false because the browser doesn't support display flex with an added E. Similarly, the second condition also comes up as false because I've intentionally typoed display grid to have an additional I in the word grid. And again, our browser doesn't support that, so the fallback value is used, which is left aligned. But if I quickly fix up that grid typo, our heading should center align. And so it does. CSS if statements are a great way to make decisions in our CSS. They allow us to surgically change the value of specific properties based on the styles that have been applied, the size of the viewport, and even if the browser supports a particular feature. One thing to note before we end, though, is that browser support is not as fleshed out as you'd likely want for a production product. With support improving a lot over the course of 2025, but still as of recording, there's still quite a few missing mainstream browsers. I'll include a link to the Can I Use page for future reference if you're watching this down the line and want to check if CSS if statements will work for your next project. If you prefer written guides, I have a comprehensive look at CSS if statements on Marco Denick's blog that I'll also link below. And if you're a fan of learning via audio, our weekly podcast will also be linked below. Now, this is my first CSS tutorial on YouTube, so if you have any feedback, please leave a comment below with your thoughts. And that'll end this video for today. Thanks for watching.